Raised in the streets of South Mountain, a teacher decides the best way to give back to the community is to come home.
You grow up with people and when you're familiar with the area, you sort of just want to stay.
Coming to you from the Broadcast Center at South Mountain High School, it's Jag News Now.
Welcome to this special edition of Jaguar News. I'm Nancy Santos. On this first week back from break, Jag News wanted to spotlight a unique member of Jaguar Nation. He's not only a teacher at South, he's a former student who felt a strong internal calling to come back to the school where he started. We followed John Connell for more than 2 months and now have a glimpse of his life, his work, and the people who he has impacted along the way.
My name is John Connell and I teach junior and senior English at South Mountain High School. First thing I wake up is I look through my calendar and see what is available for the day.
So, which one is your chocolate?
The planning is the hard stuff for me. The doing is the fun stuff.
Middle.
I told our athletes this evening, the practices, those are the hard things. So when you're actually in the game, that's the fun part. You get to put all the stuff you've worked on in practice, you get to put that into work, into motion. Yeah, it was hard, it was long, but once the day gets started, that's the fun stuff.
You're not just saying it to...
One thing I like about Coach Cano is that he not only inspires me like in my athletics, but in my education. When I was barely learning how to pitch in softball, and I just could not get a strike, he was the one who helped me not give up. He was the one who made the extra time, who filmed me to point out certain things to me. He really put in the extra effort that teachers that don't put in. He really does put in that effort.
He's a very loving person. He has a big heart, bigger than a lot of teachers on that. When I was in high school, had a specific situation that started all the inspiration was my freshman year when we were playing Fairfax High School. The momentum was very high in the second half, and I made a freshman mistake, and I went to the wrong basket, and he pulled me out. I was shaken up, very out the game, and he told me, doesn't matter how many mistakes you make, it just matters if you do not do them, if you don't complete the same action. And I remember those words, and they basically pushed me all along.
That was a whole message.
I didn't ask him to be a father. He didn't tell me he's going to be a father, but the way he walked, the way his movement was, how he dealt with people, showed me and reflected upon me how to be a man. And to me, that's a father.
We're good. We have choices.
You know, I wake up to a wonderful wife and 3 cool kids, and I'm grateful for that. And then everything I do throughout the day is really ultimately for them. I mean, I wouldn't be employed where I am or have all the things that I have now because, you know, I've worked for it. I've worked at the school for it.
When the kids need help with something or anybody needs help, he's usually able to guide you in the right direction. He usually because of teaching, he's able to find a way for you to understand what his point of view is.
I'm in the community that I understand where the kids come from, and especially when I tell them, you know, I went to this elementary school or that elementary school, they can relate because they probably went to the same ones that I went to. Living here, it just sort of felt like home, like I was always meant to be here. The part that I do remember is my experience here. So when you grow up with people and when you're familiar with the area, you sort of just want to stay.
I remember being in one of his classrooms, and we had just done a training on thinking maps, and he's like, I can use this with my students tomorrow. And I was in his classroom the next day, and he was doing it, and the kids were doing it. It was phenomenal.
Back here all used to be just a bunch of trees and stuff.
he's inspired me to the point where I never want to stop learning.
He really has shaped me into a better person in all aspects. So thank you, Coach.
He is caring and responsible, hardworking, and very resourceful.
That wraps up this special edition of Jaguar News. Join us next week for an all-new edition of Jaguar News. We wanted to know, which is a better ride for South students, the city bus or a magnet buses? We take a trip on both to see why students select one over the other for their journeys to and from school. That's next week on Jaguar News. Until then, have a great day.